Hare Krishna. Very happy to be amongst all of you today. It's a very nice hall, very nice group of assembled devotees, very eager and enthusiastic to hear. Thank you for coming this evening. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtottara Sat. His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vallabha ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. As I came here and I saw this poster over here, I realized this is such a wonderful thing. I think many of you sitting behind can't read the poster that is right here. So let me read it out for you. This is a prayer. Is it Bhaktivedanta Thakur's prayer? Who has put up the poster? Bhaktivedanta Padhyavali, Rupa Goswami's prayer. O Lord, just as a miser continually collects, counts and remembers his money, in the same way, let us continually collect, count and remember your holy names. So let's repeat that. O Lord, just as a miser continually collects, counts and remembers his money, in the same way, let us continually collect, count and remember our money. Ah, got you there. No blind faith. Krishna consciousness is not blind following. Sometimes people say, oh, this is just blind following. You're following because of blind faith. No. Srila Prabhupada said we should be independently thoughtful. Being independently thoughtful doesn't mean that we should be whimsical. It does mean that we should be thoughtful and we should think for ourselves, but it should be based on the logic given in the scriptures. So today, for example, if I came and said, I am God, not that you should, immediately you should stand up and say, no, that is not true. You cannot be God. So I'll say the last line again. In the same way, let us continually collect, count, and remember my neighbor's money, your holy names. Okay. Yes, that is our prayers. That is our prayer to Krishna. What a beautiful prayer. Sometimes the acharyas pray like this. We can learn how to pray by studying the prayers of the great acharyas. You see, we don't know how to pray. We don't know what to pray for. We don't know what to ask for. We don't know what to say. It's very important that we learn what to say when we come in front of Krishna. Many times we hear the professional singers singing some devotional songs, and then it comes out in the marketplace and it becomes very popular. Sometimes when the singer is himself or herself a very sincere devotee of the Lord, then that is fine. But sometimes it's just a professional who is doing it for the sake of earning money, and the person doesn't have any devotion in the heart. It's just something done as a profession. So then such songs will have no devotional value for us. They will have no potency to change our heart. Similarly, devotional compositions that are written or composed by non-devotees who have no devotion for the Lord will not help us. They will not be able to purify our heart and help us to get devotion to the Lord. It is only when we hear the works of great devotees and of the Supreme Lord Himself that our heart can actually change. So whether it is a poem or a song or a verse or an article, a book, letter, anything. So we have to learn how to pray. There are in the Nectar of Devotion, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is a very important book for all of us. Srila Rupa Goswami has outlined 64 limbs of devotional service that are important for any devotee to follow. The items or limbs of sadhana bhakti, devotional service performed in the stage of practice. And sometimes some of these items are repeated for the sake of emphasis. So in one case he says that we should learn vigyapti. Vigyapti means that we should learn how to pray to Krishna like this. This is a form of a prayer. There are different kinds of prayers. Of course, that's a different topic, so we won't go into that in detail. And that is when you compose your own prayers in the sense that you ask Krishna for something. It can be composed in your own language. It doesn't have to be in Sanskrit. Krishna understands all languages. Whatever language you speak, or even if you don't speak any language, Krishna understands the language of your heart. So we pray to Krishna for something. Maybe you're praying to Krishna, please purify my heart of all the unwanted things. Or please give me devotion to your lotus feet. Please keep me always engaged in your service. So there are different types of prayers we as ordinary devotees can and should pray for when we come to Krishna, especially when we come in front of the deity. So that is called vigyapti, a prayer. There's another kind of prayer that Rupa Goswami asks us to recite, and that is called stava part. Stava is a composition that has been made by the great devotees of the Lord in the past. Say like Brahma has chanted Brahma Samhita, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has composed the famous Shikshashtakam prayers, Or Kunti Maharani has prayed beautifully in the 8th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhishma's prayers, Prahlad's prayers, King Kulashekhar's prayers, Bhaktivinod Thakur's prayers, Narottam Das Thakur's prayers, Rupa Goswami's prayers. So by hearing and reciting and remembering such prayers, we actually learn how to pray to the Lord, what to pray for to the Lord. This is very important. When we go as materialists in front of the Lord, we have no idea what to pray for. So when materialistic people sing devotional songs, and in those songs, they may say things that are not devotionally desirable. It's supposed to be a religious song, but then it doesn't have very correct conclusions. Ghar mein sukh sampatti aave, jai jagadish hare. Huh? For those of you who don't understand Hindi, what it means is, let there be happiness and material prosperity in the house. Jai Jagadish Hare. So you pray to the Lord so that there can be lots of money and you can have material happiness in the house. So you pray Jai Jagadish Hare for that sake. But this is not pure devotion. This is not a devotional conclusion. When the Supreme Lord appeared as Lord Nrsimhadev to Prahlad, and he said, Prahlad, I'm very pleased with you, so please ask me for any benediction, and I will be happy to give it to you. Then Prahlad declined. And he said to the Lord that, my dear Lord, I am not a businessman. I have not come here to do business with you. That I will worship you, and then you will give me something in return, something material in return. But Lord Nrsimhadev kept insisting. So then Prahlad said, please give me the service at the lotus feet of your pure devotee Narad Muni. This was Prahlad's desire. So we see that when we chant prayers that are composed by people who do not know the devotional conclusions, then we may end up with all sorts of wrong prayers which are not meant for us to do. A pure devotee wouldn't pray like that. Ghar mein sukha sampatti aave. That let there be material prosperity in my house so I can enjoy material life a lot. So by singing those prayers, we do not get bhakti, love of God, number one. And instead of that, what will we get? We will get the consciousness of the person who has composed the song. So whoever has composed the song has a certain consciousness. His consciousness is a little materialistic. Otherwise, why would he say such a thing? Ghar mein sukha sampatti aave. Why would he ask for this? Because he wants it. And he's asking us to want it also. So if we sing such songs, then we will get that person's consciousness. And most people are very innocent. They don't know what true religion is. So typically any place in India, you start singing this song, everybody will come and they will clap and they will participate because they're innocent. They don't know. So they think that the purpose of religion is to just earn material prosperity. So for them, religion is simply a vehicle or a means to become wealthy or to get a lot of enjoyment in this world. That is their conception of religion. So any songs, devotional songs are also sung with that motivation. On the other hand, if you look at the stavas or the stotras, the great songs and verses composed by great devotees, then we understand what is a great prayer made up of. What constitutes a good prayer? A good prayer is nothing but the outpouring of the pure devotional sentiments that are in the heart of a great devotee. These prayers are spontaneous outpourings. Usually they're not something that you sit down and plan. Okay, now I'm going to compose a prayer. Now I sit down. My dear Lord, please give me pure devotion. No. Most of these great devotees, when they prayed, when they sung songs, they just spontaneously burst out into song. And therefore they are under the transcendental spiritual energy. It is only by the devotional spiritual energy of Krishna that such devotees are able to come up with wonderful prayers and songs and verses spontaneously. When Dhruva Maharaj was a 5-year-old boy, when the Supreme Lord, who came as Prishni Garbha, touched his head with his conch shell, immediately Dhruva Maharaj started reciting prayers. Very exquisite prayers with all sorts of Sanskrit metaphors and analogies, which normally a 5-year-old boy is not educated enough to do all that. But he started reciting all these prayers, wonderful prayers. And he started reciting one after the other, one after the other. Like the flowing Ganga, he was just going on and on. Even Dhruva didn't understand how these prayers are coming out. But the sentiment was there. And Krishna gave the words. So then these prayers came out. This is the power of reciting such great prayers and songs and verses. So we get the consciousness of the person who has composed the song. So if you're going to meditate on this verse, the contents, not only will we be educated spiritually, but we'll also get a drop of the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami, who has composed this in his famous Padyavali prayers. In the Hitopadesha, it is mentioned that one should try to understand the truth by following in the footsteps of a great devotee. Tarko pratishtha shrutayo vibhinna nasa vrishiryasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gatah sapantha. One cannot understand what is dharma, what is religion, what is truth simply by argument. We just argue with each other, quarrel with each other. We cannot understand. On the basis of intellectual argumentation, we cannot understand God. Shrutayo vibhinna, even by reading numerous books, we cannot understand. Not even by our own mental speculation can we understand what God is, who God is. Sometimes people refer to books, and so many books that they get confused. Many times I've come across people who say, I read this book from such and such author, that Bhagavad Gita by such and such author, this Bhagavad Gita by such and such, and they end up being confused. So reading too many books of different authors and different types of scriptures is also very confusing. And sometimes there are some people who want to just speculate. They just want to do whatever their mind says. And they are called munis, who just think and want to arrive at their own conclusion. Nasav rishir yasya matam na bhinnam. So even our own speculations are not going to help us to come to the correct understanding. The other day I was at Melbourne University, and just across they have a small program. So there were some university students gathered there for a program. So I delivered a lecture, and after that the students gathered, all international students from different countries. And then they gathered around after the program was over as prasadam was being honored. Then in the course of the question answers, one young man asked me, I don't believe that we should get knowledge from a book. Why do you refer to Bhagavad Gita as a book of knowledge? It should come from within. I will think about it, and as I think is right, I will follow that path. So I don't believe that we should be referring to a book, because a book doesn't evolve. When we think, we evolve. So this was his point. So then I told him, look, spiritual life is a science. And in any science, you need knowledge. And for knowledge, you need book and you need teacher. Whether it is physics or mathematics or chemistry, whether it is engineering or accountancy or economics, or any subject in this world, you need some textbooks, you need some teachers. So when you accept that you are learning some particular knowledge, then why do you hesitate in accepting the knowledge from a book or from a person? So he was in some medically related field. So I asked him that when you're dealing with your patients, are you going to do whatever your mind says, anyhow give an injection anywhere, according to what your mind says, or you'll give it according to certain protocols that you have learned from the books and learned from your teachers? You have to be very, very careful how to give that injection, how to draw the blood from a patient. You have to be well trained. It's not that you just depend on your own thinking to come up with some way to draw blood or give an injection. So similarly, when it comes to spiritual life, why should you be whimsical? Why should you not accept knowledge from a superior source, from a book and from persons? Yes, you always have the intelligence to question, and you should indeed question. You should hear it carefully, the knowledge, and you should ask sincere and genuine questions so that your doubts may be cleared. But to say that I don't believe in a book is not something that is very logical, because we do it all the time to study anything and everything in this world. And furthermore, I told him, let me ask you a question. I said, you are thinking that you want to do whatever you want, and that's the right way for you to progress in your spiritual life. But let me ask you the question, why is listening to your mind better than listening to a book? Let's say the Bhagavad Gita. Why is your mind superior to a holy book? Did you get the question? I remember one time some years ago, one lady came to me. She was quite disturbed. She had her young 11-year-old son with her. And she came with a complaint. And she said, Maharaj, can you please help me? My son just doesn't listen to me. He's very disobedient. He talks back in the house. He does whatever he likes. So I just can't handle him. Can you please tell him that he should listen to me? I can see all the householders having wise smiles on their faces. Because everybody is speaking thinking out of experience. So can you please tell him something? Now, he was only 11 years old, so you can't speak much philosophy to an 11-year-old boy, can you? But I said, anyway, let me give it a shot. So then I talked to him, I called him, I had chatted him up a little bit. We talked about a little this and that. And then I asked him, so you don't listen to your mother? So then he puffed his chest out and said, I don't listen to anyone. So I was thinking, my God, at 11 years he has such an ego. When he grows up, he's going to have a real Himalayan ego. I said, really? You don't listen to anyone? So what do you do then? He said, I do whatever I like. So I said, really? Okay. So then you listen to your mind then. He didn't understand what I meant, so I explained it. You do whatever you want, so whatever your mind says you do. Your mind says, I want to sleep, you sleep. Your mind says, I want to eat, you eat. Your mind says, you don't want to go to school, you don't go to school. Your mother says, eat, but you don't want to eat, so you don't eat. So your mind is telling you different things. So you're listening to your mind, aren't you? So after explaining at length, then he understood. He said, yeah, I'm listening to my mind. And your mind is always changing. And sometimes you do right things and sometimes you do wrong things. So anyway you're listening to your mind. So what's wrong in listening to your mother? You're listening to someone anyway. So at least your mother loves you and your mother will take care of you and she'll do what is right for you. She's not going to do something that's harmful to you. So might as well listen to her. I don't know how much of the knowledge penetrated into the boy's mind, but anyway, I gave it a try. When I meet the lady next time, I will ask her how the boy is. But of course, he is probably grown up a few years more now. So the point is, and then I repeated this example to this student. And I told the same thing, that you rely upon your mind as a source of knowledge. But it can never be a perfect source of knowledge because your mind is always changing. Your mind says one thing now, another thing later. How can you rely on it? So your own mind is not a reliable source of information or of knowledge. It is not possible to come to correct conclusions about things in life merely on the strength of one's mental faculties. So if you listen to your mind for your spiritual life, which is very whimsical, and everybody's mind is whimsical, that's the nature of the mind, then why not listen to a holy book? And the Bhagavad Gita says that you should ask questions. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Approach a bona fide spiritual master, submissively ask questions, render service, and the truth shall be revealed to you. So pariprashnena indicates that when we go to the book and to the teacher who's explaining the book, we don't accept everything blindly. We don't give up the process of questioning and inquiry. We ask questions, but we ask intelligent questions. We ask so that our doubts may be clarified. We don't ask absurd questions, and we don't ask questions for the sake of asking, but we ask questions for the sake of knowledge to be revealed and doubts to be destroyed. So therefore, for us to learn from our own mental speculation is not the right process to understand God or spiritual life. What then is the way? Reading too many books, arguing with each other, depending on our own mental speculation, these are all inadequate and incorrect ways of reaching the truth. What then is the truth? From the verse which I quoted earlier, it says, Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam, which means the subtlest truths of true religion, true spirituality of God and so on are hidden in the hearts of the great souls, the exalted devotees of the Lord. Mahajano yena gatah sapantha. Therefore, one must follow in the footsteps of those great souls. Following in the footsteps of the great souls means that one should hear their instructions, one should read their works, and one should draw inspiration from that and try to implement those teachings in our life. So when we read this beautiful prayer from Rupa Goswami, yes, we can also try to imbibe this mood so that we can progress in our devotional life, in our understanding of Krishna consciousness. In this world, we see that there are some people who are miserly. A miserly person is one who doesn't want to share his or her wealth with anyone, wants to keep the wealth for himself or herself. But do you know that the miser is actually the biggest donor? How? At death. At death, he automatically becomes the biggest donor. Did you understand? Because obviously he doesn't take away any money with him. He hides it everywhere. Hides it from the IRS or the income tax people. He hides it from thieves. He hides it from his own family members perhaps, or hides it here and there. But ultimately, when the time comes for him to leave the world, the money goes to somebody else. So what is the use of being miserly? Might as well give away your wealth when you're here. Keep something for yourself, of course, but use it for good purposes rather than using it for bad purposes. There's a verse in Sanskrit that says that when we die, what happens? Dhanani bhumo. The wealth that we had buried in the ground, it remains in the ground. In former days, there were no banks and everything. So people would hide their gold and diamonds in a treasure chest and bury it in the ground, in a secret place where nobody knew. Sometimes so secret, perhaps they themselves couldn't find it again. So then, when you died, then the treasure chest remained there. It happens so many times that archaeologists and so on, they're digging some sites and they find these treasure chests coming up from thousands of years. So then we die and our treasure chest remains behind. We don't carry it with us. Pashavo Goshthe. In the olden days, wealth was considered in terms of not just gold and diamonds and so on, but also in terms of your animals that you possess, the cows and so on. So we die and we go away, but our animals remain behind. Nari grihadvare. Then when we die, the wife, she will remain at the doorstep. Our body will be taken away. Sakhas mashani, our friends will come to the crematorium. So they can accompany us only till there. The wealth will remain in the ground. The animals will remain in the shed. The wife will come only to the doorstep. The friends will only come to the crematorium. Then what do I carry away with me? I can't carry my family. I can't carry my money, my wealth. Everything remains behind. So I donate everything to others anyway. And I don't get the credit for that donation because it's taken away by the force of time, by nature. But if I voluntarily donate that wealth when I'm alive for good causes, then I get the credit. Anyway, the wealth is going to get taken away from me. So why to be a miser? I remember a story. One time there was a king. I narrate this story often when I go to different places. And in the olden days, you know that kings had many queens. So this king had 4 queens. One time, somehow, by providence, the king was told by his doctor that he had a terminal illness and that he had only a short time left to live, a very short time. So the king was very grief-stricken. He was very sorry to hear that. And then he said, what to do now? I have to go on this journey, but at least let me ask my queens if they will come with me on this journey so that I don't have to be alone when I leave this world and go. So he called his first queen. As soon as the first queen came, he told her, look, I have very little time left in this world and I have to go on a long journey. So will you come with me? So all of a sudden, very curtly and bluntly, she said no, got up and walked away. And this poor king was very sad. Just see how rudely she just said no and she got up and walked away. And all my life, I have pampered her, I have given her whatever she liked. And she doesn't even apologetically say, no, I'm sorry, I can't come. She just said bluntly no and she walked away. So he was feeling really very sad. What to do? He can't even fight with the queen anyway, he's about to leave now. He says, okay, let me try the second queen. So he called the second queen, and then he told her, look, I have to leave. The doctor has told me I have very little time left in this world. So I have to go on this long journey. So will you come with me? I think you will come, isn't it? So then she looked at him and she said, as soon as you die, immediately I will marry another person. So he was shell-shocked, poor king, as it is a shock of the first queen talking like that. And now the second queen saying this, he was practically heartbroken. And she says, immediately I will marry somebody else. So he said, now what can I do? Okay, let me try the third queen. So then he called the third queen. He explained the same thing to her. And then said, look, I have to go. So will you come with me on this journey? So she said, no, I'm sorry. I cannot come with you also. I can only come with you to a short distance here till here. I can't come beyond that. So he was feeling really sad. And then actually the second queen was the one. He would always, because she was the most beautiful of the four queens. So whenever he went out, he would have the second queen accompany him, so that everybody could see what a beautiful queen he had. And the third queen had been more or less like his confidential advisor. And so whenever he had been in difficulty, he needed some counsel and some advice, he would go to the third queen and she would always give some advice for his welfare. But even she said this time, I'm sorry, I can't come with you. Now there was a fourth queen. Unfortunately for this queen, she was neglected by the king. He would never even look at her. He gave his attention only to the other three queens, especially to the first and second. And only when time came for some crisis or advice, he would go to the third queen, but the fourth queen, not at all. He would ignore her. But then she was very faithful, she remained. Then the king called her, said, let my last try now. So then he called her and said, look, I have to leave this world. So will you come with me? So immediately she replied, yes, I will come with you. So the king was really shocked this time. Here is the queen who I utterly neglected. I mistreated her. And she is the one who is willing to come with me, even beyond death. Whereas the others, they immediately refused. Now there is a moral to this story. In this story, the king and the three queens represent some things. The king represents the soul, the real you and the real I. We are all eternally the spiritual soul. And we are very fond of something. What are we very fond of? What's the thing that we are most fond of in this world? Huh? Our body. We are fond of our body like anything. We pamper it. We want to give it all sorts of pleasures and luxuries and comforts. Whatever the body demands, we want to give it. And that is the first queen. The first queen represents the body. So he was pampering the first queen with everything she wanted. So just like we pamper our body. And when the time comes to die, the body says, no, I won't come with you. I'm going to stay back here. So the body doesn't come with us. We leave the body and go away. What is it that we like to show off in this world? Wealth. Wealth. Who was that? Come here, come here. Let everybody see you. Stand on this platform. Stand here. Yes. Here is the most intelligent boy and person in the room. What do we like to show off? We like to show off our wealth. We may have a Lamborghini car, or we may have some nice clothes and very nice house, and we want everyone to see it. So similarly, the second queen represents our wealth and our assets. So therefore, being the most beautiful of the four queens, the king wanted to always take her around with him whenever he went out. So let everybody see my queen. And what did the second queen reply when the king told her that I'm going to leave? Will you come with me? No. Yeah, no. But what else did she say? I will marry someone else. When? After 1 year? I'm just, as soon as you die, the moment you die, I'm going to marry. Not a moment's delay. Now, isn't that something? At least she should wait, right? For a couple of years, at least something. But no, she said, right away, I will marry somebody else. Why? Because the moment we die, that wealth that we had stored, that we had hidden away in so many places, becomes somebody else's. Our legal heirs, or according to our will. So that money goes to somebody else, it doesn't come to us, it's gone. Earlier we were very proud, this is my money, this is my gold, these are my diamonds. But the moment we die, that very moment, the money and the wealth becomes somebody else's. The third queen, who do we generally go to when we need some advice, when we are in trouble? We go to our family members, we go to friends, right? And we go to them just when we need them. So similarly, the third queen represents our friends and family. But when we die, can we take our friends and family with us? No. Nobody can help us. You all know the story of Gajendra. Gajendra was out there fighting with the crocodile in the water. And even though he was so mighty, the fight with the crocodile was going on for a long time. And all his family members, the other elephants, were waiting on the shore, just helplessly looking on. They couldn't help the elephant. So similarly, when we're about to die, our family members will not be able to help us beyond the point. You can call the doctor, you can call whatever, but when the time comes to go, we have to go. So they may be very apologetic about it, they may be very sorry about it, but they can't do anything about it. So that is the third queen. And who's the fourth queen?
Soul.
No, the king is the soul.
Bhakti. Paramatma. Super soul.
The super soul. The Lord in the heart. Yes? The Lord in the heart is always with us. Krishna is there as a super soul in our heart. In the Upanishads it is explained that along with the soul, there is the super soul. It's like two birds sitting on a tree. One bird is trying to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Some fruits are bitter or sour, some are sweet. And the first bird is all the time active, trying to taste the fruits. The second bird simply watches. So the first bird represents us, the soul in the heart. The second bird represents the super soul, who is watching all our activities. So we try to enjoy this world, we lament, we sometimes have happiness, sometimes there is distress. But the super soul is always with us. Whether we are devotees, whether we are atheists, the Lord is in the heart with us. Always. Never leaves us. He is our best friend. Even though we never turn to Him, we may even never pray to Him. We may even deny His very existence. But He never leaves us, because He loves us so much. So that is the fourth queen. Even though the fourth queen was neglected by the king, but she faithfully followed him. Even after death, she said, I will come with you. So the Lord is our eternal companion. And also the fourth queen can represent another thing, our dharma. Or it can also represent our different activities that we do. We perform some actions, and according to the law of karma, the reactions will go with us. So we will carry the reactions of our karma with us into the next life. And that will give us the basic state of our next birth. How much happiness and distress we will get, what kind of body we get, in which species, and so on and so forth. So therefore, from this little story we can understand that unless one takes to pure devotional service, one takes to spiritual life seriously, unless one becomes Krishna conscious, one is also like a miser. Because the human form of life is the greatest wealth. Because it is only through the human form of life that one can understand the goal of one's life, that one can understand and love Krishna. So the scriptures declare again and again that having obtained the human form of life, if we do not become Krishna conscious, then we will be like misers. Such a waste, such a tragedy that would be. In this material world, misers are always continually counting, collecting, and remembering their money. People like to count their money again and again. How true! Rupa Goswami was a very perceptive observer of this world. You know people like to count their money, right? Do you count your money? Sometimes you keep doing, right? To check how much money do I have. That's natural for us. But for a miser, that's all that matters to him. He collects it, doesn't do anything with it. He only counts. And then he remembers, and he derives great solace from that. Oh, I have so much money. I have so much today. Tomorrow I'll have so much more. And his meditation is only upon how much money he has, not realizing that it's all going to be taken away from him. The important point here that Rupa Goswami is making is that the miser is absorbed in thoughts of his money. Similarly, Rupa Goswami is praying to Krishna, let me also be absorbed in thoughts about you. Let my thinking be always in you. Just as a miser is counting his money, let me count your holy names as I chant. So we have beads. Yes? So let me count your holy names. I'll chant your names on my beads. 16 rounds, 32 rounds, 64 rounds. Let me also collect your holy names more and more, which means I'll chant more and more. You know, I remember in the early days, we used to have what we called a Hare Krishna bank. And we did that, maybe it's a good idea to start it somewhere again. What we did was, we would have somebody sponsor notebooks, blank notebooks. And we would give it to people and say that you have to fill up this notebook with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You have to write down. And this is your Hare Krishna Mahamantra bank. And then we would collect these books and we would give them gifts. And then they would actually have books and books of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra written down. Many devotees would do that very sincerely. So they were collecting these books and keeping them. And then sometimes when there was a temple inauguration, construction work for a temple beginning, and the ground was dug, many of these books would be kept in the ground there as a foundation for that building, along with Anantashesh, when the Bhumi Pujan ceremony was being done. So these devotees would also collect these books, collect the holy names. So they became very rich. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Bhagavat says, I'll only go to the house of a Lakhpati. Now Lakhpati means one who has 1 lakh. 1 lakh is 100,000. So the devotee was surprised. The devotional service is not performed according to economic criteria. So why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that I will not go to the house of anyone who is not a Lakpati? So Mahaprabhu clarified and said, I will go to the house of only one who chants 100,000 names of Krishna every day. Who is collecting, counting, and then remembering. Chanting the holy names is the best way to remember Krishna. That becomes very easy. When you hear somebody's name, immediately you think of that person, isn't it? Whatever name, think of any name. Immediately the person's face comes to your mind. So similarly, when we chant Krishna's names, then we remember Krishna. Rupa Goswami also elsewhere makes a similar prayer. He said, my dear Lord, just as a young boy is naturally attracted to a young girl, and a young girl is naturally attracted to a young boy in this world, let my attraction towards you naturally flow. So the Acharyas take examples from this world because that's all we can relate to. We have experience of this world, so we can see all these things happening. So then we pray on the spiritual platform, just as this attraction is so natural, let my heart be naturally attracted to your lotus feet and to the chanting of your holy names. So this beautiful prayer that now we read out this just before we started is Rupa Goswami's petition to the Lord, that let me be continuously absorbed mentally in your holy names, just as the miser remembers his money. So let us repeat this, chant this prayer one more time. O Lord, just as a miser, continually collects, counts, and remembers his money, in the same way, let us continually collect, count, and remember your holy names. Very correct. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we'll leave some time for questions. Oh, some very deep questions. And so many questions, but I don't know if you have. Okay. Starting with the first question. It says here, how to distinguish between sentiment, tradition, and religious activities? The answer is one should distinguish on the basis of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, which means on the basis of the spiritual master, the previous spiritual masters, and the scriptures. That is the basis on which we make decisions like this. What is valid, what is bona fide, and what is not. We cannot whimsically decide what is the correct tradition to follow, or the correct religious activity, and what is mere sentiment. Second question, how should one discriminate between making a decision with Krishna's approval and speculating Krishna's approval for that decision? Again, the same answer. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. One time there was a devotee who made a business, a blunder in his business decisions. And as a result of that, he had to suffer a lot. And so then when I asked him actually, okay, so what happened? Why? He said, I took this decision. I said, it's obviously a wrong decision. Anyone will see that you should not have done this. So why did you do this? He said, because you see what happened is he remembered a certain story that had happened with Baladev Vidyabhushan. and with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. When they were about to write some books, Kaviraj Goswami was about to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Baladev Vidyabhushan was about to write a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So they went to their respective deities, Madan Mohan and Govindadev, to ask for blessings. And it so happened that the garland from the neck of the deities fell down. And they understood that the Lord was offering his blessings in this way. And that was a fact. So they went ahead and composed those books, and they turned out to be magnificent books. So this devotee remembered that, but he didn't remember that we shouldn't try to imitate the great acharyas. So he went and asked the deity, it seemed, should I do this or should I not do that? And he said, a flower fell down. So I took it as a yes. And then I did this. No, you can't speculate like that. You can't base important decisions in life in just in a whimsical way like that. Krishna has also given us intelligence. We have to use our own intelligence in this world also. And we have to rely on Guru Sadhu Shastra to understand what is correct and what is not correct. Next question. Why should one acquire wealth if it would not be of so much gain at the time of death? The answer is for the simple reason that you have to survive till the point of death. You have to live, isn't it? If you don't have wealth, how can you live? And without living, how can you practice Krishna consciousness? So therefore, for survival, we need a little wealth.
Swami, can I interrupt?
Yes.
Take it from there?
Yes.
So, the question for me always is, how much is enough?
Okay, the question then is, how much wealth is enough? Now that's a big topic, but let me answer it in one sentence for the time being. As much as you have now is enough. It may be less, it may be more. Be satisfied with what you have right now. Hare Krishna. So we'll go to the next question. If God is in our heart, why do humans commit sin? Because Krishna also gives them the permission to do that. Krishna is fulfilling the desires of the living entities from time to time. And the very fact that this material world exists means that we are all here to try to fulfill our independent desires for enjoyment. So Krishna has facilitated this material world for the fulfillment of our sinful desires. So if we want to do something good, Krishna gives us the intelligence to do that. If you want to do something bad, Krishna helps us to do that. But we are answerable and responsible for that. So we have to suffer and enjoy the reactions of that. Next question. Is there any use in reciting the verses of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam without understanding the meaning? Since children are learning shlokas, isn't that like a parrot? In childhood especially, we may not understand the meanings, but it is very helpful to learn.
Oh, sorry. Keep it here.
Yeah, let's keep it here. In childhood especially, it is very important to learn so that it comes naturally to us when we grow up. For example, you learn your tables, right? All of you remember in childhood how you memorize the tables. 1 ones are 1, 1 twos are 2. Yes, you remember that? So because of that, now when you ask, what is 6 times 7? What is 6 times 7? 42. How do you know? Because you memorized it in childhood, isn't it? Of course, nowadays, in this electronic age, everyone will go for the iPhone or the iPad, whatever, 6 times a 7. So memorization in childhood is very important actually. Even if the children do not understand that. But when they grow up, then they begin to understand. And then it's so easy for them to relate to what they have learned in their childhood. Number one. Number two, even for adults, recitation of the verses is very helpful, even if you don't understand it. Why? Because it is transcendental sound vibration. Srila Prabhupada gave an example of thunder rolling. When there's a thunderclap, a huge noise, then everybody, in whichever part of the world they are, wherever it is that the sound of thunder appears, what happens to everybody's heart? There's some fear, right? Especially when you hear loud thunder, rumbling thunder, immediately there's a temporary sensation of fear or some trembling in the heart. So everybody gets the message. So like that, Srila Prabhupada said that when these verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita are chanted, then it has the effect on the heart. It purifies the heart, even if you don't understand the meaning. Number 3 point. But that doesn't mean that as adults, you should not try to understand the verses. Now that you're adults, okay, try to understand the meaning. Then the effectiveness of that chanting will increase even more. Now try to memorize it and try to understand the meanings and then meditate on what the verses mean. So this will be very purifying. Next question. Is there any Krishna Leela outside India in today's world? Krishna appeared in Vrindavan and he performed his pastimes in Mathura, Dwarka, Kurukshetra, Hastinapur and a few other places. Krishna of Vrindavan performed his pastimes in limited areas in this planet. But in other incarnations, surely he traveled everywhere. As Matsya Avatar, he was wandering all over the world. Maybe he came to Australia also. But the world was full of water at that time. So in different incarnations, the Lord appears in different places for different purposes. Why does Krishna not have external, what is this? Potency. Potency in today's day and age. Or Krishna can have as many expansions as he wants. Yes, Krishna can expand himself into as many expansions as possible. And that he does. He is present as a super soul in our heart. He is present as a super soul in the heart of every living entity. There are practically unlimited living entities in this material creation. And he is in the heart of every one of them. And plus, he is also in the heart of every atom. So he does expand himself unlimitedly. Next question. Why is food offered not tasted before the offering? What if the food has a lot of chili in it? The food is not tasted before it is offered to Krishna because we want Krishna to be the first one to taste it. And then we want to take that as prasadam, as his mercy. But if we taste it before offering to Krishna, then that means we are giving Krishna our prasadam. But of course, it's not prasadam for us. I mean, when we taste, it doesn't become prasadam. What I meant to say, I was speaking a little sarcastically, that we happen to give Krishna the remnants of our food rather than the other way around. Right? So therefore, we are very careful that we don't taste any food before offering. So how do you ensure that that there's not too much chili in it? don't put too much chili in the first place. If you don't put too much chili, there won't be chili in the food. In other words, we have to be careful when we cook the food. You shouldn't be inattentive and careless. Sometimes it does happen. You may put a little more salt, a little less salt, but whatever it is, you have to be attentive and you have to learn how to cook properly so that you put the right amount of ingredients. And in any case, it's not a good idea to have so much chili. Right? Okay. No, this I'll keep here, okay. What should be done in a situation where one wants to do devotional service to Krishna, but one's spouse is preventing one from doing so? Okay. How about this? By the way, I was only joking. Otherwise, you will get me in trouble. And you try this on your spouse, and then they'll come back saying, this is what they teach you in Hare Krishna. Well, try to make your spouse understand as gently as possible. Keep your guns aside. Keep your knives aside. Keep all your weapons aside. And when the mood is very nice and calm, just sit and have a nice, healthy, loving chat about how you want to do Krishna consciousness so badly, how it is so important to you, and how there's no harm to anyone in doing Krishna consciousness. There's no fear for anyone. And gradually your spouse will begin to understand. But always act in such a way that will increase your spouse's faith in Krishna consciousness. Don't act in such an irresponsible way that your spouse will start thinking, oh, all these Hare Krishnas are just bad. I won't have anything to do with Hare Krishna. So go slow in terms of helping your spouse come to terms with your change in habits and practices. Give your spouse time to come to terms with you. Go step by step. Deal sensitively with your spouse. Don't try to overnight change your spouse unless he or she is willing. Go step by step, be sensitive, and then gradually, by your proper behavior, your proper dealings and words, don't indicate that the spouse doesn't have any priority in your life now that you have become Hare Krishna. Rather, you should make it clear that the spouse continues to have the same priority as before. It's just that you want to make your life Krishna conscious. And of course, ultimately, pray to Krishna so that your spouse may also develop attraction for him, and feed your spouse Krishna prasadam. Okay? Next question. What will assist me in saving big for Krishna when everyone says it is not possible? I'm finding it hard to make a big leap of faith into the unknown. Or not saving big, serving big. What will assist me in serving big for Krishna? Well, start with small and grow step by step. You must be practical in this world. Your leaps of faith must also be on the basis of something very sound. So start small, start with small services and grow step by step. Like Matsya Avatar, grew step by step. Why chant? Why certain amount of rounds? Why chant? Why not chant? That's also one response, isn't it? Well, Because chanting is the easiest way to remember Krishna, as I explained in the class. And in this age of Kali, that is recommended as a method for realizing God. And why a certain number of rounds? The certain number of rounds is only a minimum. Actually, we are supposed to be chanting all the time. But because we can't do it all the time, we learn a certain discipline of chanting at least a certain number of rounds as a minimum, and we can try to increase that. When we enter a temple and let's say a discourse is going on, we bow down. At this time, are we bowing down to the assembled devotees or to the Lord and the deity? To everyone. Is there a certain sequence in which we should do this? Generally, the sequence is one offers obeisances to the Guru Parampara, like Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara, and then one offers obeisances to the deities. So one could follow that sequence. Probably we'll make this the last question because we are running out of time. Okay, I just want to ask you, am I still eligible to practice Krishna consciousness and desire for initiation as I have broken one regulative principle? I could not finish my rounds couple of times and this is because of my laziness. So don't interrupt your rounds in the future. Chant. Whatever happened, happened, no problem. Now look ahead. Associate with devotees, chant Hare Krishna, read Prabhupada's books, be in ecstasy, and aspire to be absorbed in Krishna like this miser is collecting, counting, and remembering his money. Just aspire for that very sincerely, and certainly you are eligible for it. So, all right, we will stop here. Thank you very much for coming this evening and for your very kind and patient attention. Hare Krishna. Kirtan now? Some kirtan? Okay. All right, so we'll have some kirtan now. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.